today, right here on Smoky Mountain Faith Food and Fun. Christy is making fried green tomatoes with homemade remoulade sauce. Have a look at that.
Hello everybody. We're continuing on with our tomato theme. We're going to do fried green tomatoes in just a little bit, but first I'm going to make the sauce so that it has time to marinate and get those flavors incorporated. It's a remoulade sauce, kind of a Cajun spicy, zesty sort of sauce. So we're going to get to it. We've got 3/4 cup of a mayonnaise. Now this is a half of a recipe of this sauce. There's no way we need a full recipe with just the two of us, and it's just one batch of fried green tomatoes, so we're just going to go with a half. So this is 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. This is, of course, Duke's. And then we're going to do about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and so I'm going to eyeball. That's about right. And then we're going to do a half of a tablespoon of paprika. So that's about a teaspoon, a little more than a teaspoon. We don't want to overdo it. So we'll go with a teaspoon and a half. And this is smoky paprika. Alright, now we've got some parsley. And it doesn't cost very much, so I'm just going to rip off a few leaves here and then rip them up in there real quick. Calls for a tablespoon. Two tablespoons? 1 tablespoon, so literally probably about 10 leaves. And I'm just going to take those and rip them up into little fine pieces. Probably not conventional, but that's what I'm doing today. I don't claim to be conventional and everything. Get that stem out of there. Sometimes using your hands is just quicker and easier and less cleanup. Of course, make sure you wash your hands every time you start to cook. Alright, now here's something that some people may not like, but I think it's really going to add to this. And it's going to be a teaspoon of prepared horseradish. That's going to give it that kick. Alright, now we're going to need a teaspoon of lemon juice. And if you don't have one of these little lemon juicers, they're very handy. This one's from Pampered Chef, but you could definitely, ooh, that's a juicy lemon. That was just about a teaspoon. If you need to measure. I typically don't need to measure because I have a good idea of how much that is. Alright. Creole seasoning. This is Tony Chachere's, very, very much well used. I will measure this because it is a little dab will do ya. So we're going to go with half a teaspoon, and that's all, because it is not only spicy, it is salty. So we don't want to ruin it. Alright, hot sauce. Teaspoon of hot sauce. And we'll measure that too. How about that? Sorry, this is going to be a half teaspoon of hot sauce, because we're half in this recipe. Brooks won't eat it if it's too spicy. Neither will Christy.
No.
Alright, now we're going to need a clove of garlic. We're going to cheat and use a half clove, which is about a half teaspoon. And we're going to use the good old garlic in a jar. Make sure it's minced garlic. Sometimes the garlic in a jar is quicker and easier. Unless I'm making an amazing Italian dish where I want my garlic really fresh, and then I just use that. And then it just calls for some black pepper. Here's my black pepper. It says a grind, so just a boop of black pepper. I'm not sure what that little bit of black pepper is going to do. And then there's one more ingredient. It's going to call for some pickle juice, in which I forgot to take out the pickle juice, so I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Pickle juice is an interesting ingredient. Alright. We've got some Dutch kettle garlic dill pickles. So we're going to just smush a little bit of that in there. So, literally a dribble. And that's all. That's it. That's everything. A lot of herbs and spices, but I think it'll be yummy. And give it a mix. Alright. Ooh. Yummy. That looks like yummy. Doesn't that look like the zesty sauce you get with a lot of things in a restaurant? I have to taste it. I hope it's good.
I think she's trying to taste something.
Ooh. Mmm. That's one of them things where the flavors just kind of hit you after you eat it. Alright. I am going to add a little bit more something to it. I think it needs some garlic powder, so I'm going to run over here and grab my garlic powder. I know there's fresh garlic in it. I don't want to overdo it, but I'm just going to add a little shake. And when you cook, you can do the same thing. If you like a certain thing and you think it'd be better with a certain thing, you do what you want. It's your food. You're eating it. Alright. We've got a remoulade sauce. We'll come back in just a little bit and we will start on the fried green tomatoes. Hey everybody, we're back with another tomato dish video, and it's gonna be fried green tomatoes. Okay, these tomatoes aren't quite green. They are starting to turn just a little bit. We bought them yesterday at a local produce stand named Carver's, and they said they had just started to turn yesterday, so I think we're safe to use them for fried green tomatoes. And if not, you guys will be along with us for a little bit of a learning experience. But couldn't find any green tomatoes anywhere, which I think we should be able to find those this time of year. But these are pretty solid. They're firm. They're not budging when I touch them. So we're gonna go with it and see what happens. All right, fried green tomatoes. Very simple. You don't want to overdo. Cornmeal, self-rising cornmeal, salt and pepper. That's it. That's all I'm breading these with. We're going to let our remoulade that we made in another video go ahead and be our dipping sauce, so that if it needs a little twang, we can spice it up with that. So first thing we got to do is slice our tomatoes. We want decently thick slices because we don't want the oil to eat them up, because they're going to be getting fried in some hot oil. My handy dandy Rada kitchen knife, a tomato knife, is awesome for this. I'm going to quick decore. I know a lot of people have different methods of coring tomatoes, but this is really what works the best for me. Not not going to make a whole lot because it is really just two of us. And fried green tomatoes is not something that really reheats very well. It's not, you kind of got to eat them when they're done. So we're going to just make enough for the two of us to maybe have some lunch. Now the video that is posted before this video is of a southern tomato pie. The recipe is based off of my friend Debbie, who introduced me to it. And if you like tomatoes and you like pie, it's delicious. And don't let the name throw you off. It's a savory pie and it is so good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and slice these tomatoes. And while I'm slicing, see that? I guess they're about a 1/2 inch thick. We're going to actually throw these in some buttermilk. Now I cheated. I didn't have any buttermilk. And I went ahead and just, this is about 1.5 cups of buttermilk and a tablespoon and a half of fresh lemon juice. And that is what's considered to be a great buttermilk substitution. A little trivia on fried green tomatoes. When you think of fried green tomatoes, what do you think of? Probably the movie, I'm guessing. A little bit of Edgy Thread Good and Tawanda. I've been told that, oh gosh, who plays Tawanda Brooks? Kathy Bates.
Yes.
I've been told that Kathy Bates is my celebrity lookalike, so that's kind of funny. But you think of the movie Fried Green Tomatoes in the Whistle Stop Cafe in Georgia, and you think, oh, that's such a southern thing. You think, you know, these fried green tomatoes, that's south. Not true. It's actually not a southern dish at all, believe it or not. You're going to be shocked. Fried green tomatoes came here with Jewish immigrants in the late 1800s. Isn't that crazy? So it was the Jewish immigrants that brought them here, and they really weren't even popular in the South until the movie came out. And then you started seeing them pop up everywhere. So there is your fried green tomato trivia for the day. You can go impress your mom or your family and friends with your fried green tomato knowledge. But they're not a hard thing to make at all. Some people do not soak in buttermilk. I think it can really only just improve. So we're going to soak in buttermilk. Alright. I didn't make enough buttermilk, unfortunately, so I'm kind of tossing those around every few minutes. So these are turning red. We're going to see how they do. Hopefully they'll still be good. I'm hoping so. There is a show, another channel that I watch, The Farming Pastor's Wife, and she's pretty good, so we should go subscribe to her. But her and her husband own a farm, and he's a pastor, and she does the cooking videos and lifestyle videos. And so her motto is, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. So Miss Leslie, if you're watching, we're going to give that a shot today. We are going to see how it works. So we're going to let these kind of hang out in the buttermilk while I get rid of this garbage and make up my breading. I do have my grease heating on the stove. I'm just using vegetable oil, which I find is actually, if you're frying, deep frying foods, that's the best one to go with. Except if you're making Italian food, then olive oil. That's how I feel about it. Alright. I'm going to do 1.5 cups of Martha White yellow self-rising cornmeal mix. Cornmeal. I am a Martha White fan. and I have just found that her products are what work well for me. Cornmeal included. And this is self-rising cornmeal, which already has salt and baking powder. Having a brain fart, guys, sorry. Alright, so we're just going to add just a little bit of salt. We don't want them to be bland. A little bit of pepper. I don't know, that might be half a teaspoon. And then we're going to add some Tony's Shishiri. Do you know how to say it? I don't really know how to say it. Just to give it a little bit of flavor. And that's probably about half a teaspoon. And mix around. Get those spices into that cornmeal. Alright, so the tomatoes are supposed to, quote, marinate for about 5 minutes. Ooh, the pepper's gonna make me sneeze. And then you can bread them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the ones I put in the bottom and work my way up. Just gonna give it a good dredge. And truly, I think the best thing to do is just get in there with your hands and give it a good mix. Make sure I can dredge. Alright, gonna grab another one. Same thing. So if you like fried green tomatoes, tell me where you've had your favorite ones, because that's something we like to order a lot when we go out. We're fans. We're gonna call these fried pink tomatoes.
That place over in Townsend has really good fried green tomatoes.
Yes, what's the name of that place? There's a great place in Townsend, Tennessee, which is like the quieter side of the Smokies, that has an incredible grilled bologna sandwich, and their fried green tomatoes are probably the best I've had anywhere. Except for, there's a place in Helen, Georgia called Big Daddy's that has amazing ones that have goat cheese and balsamic vinegar. They're very fancy, but they're delicious.
Oh, the Riverstone.
The Riverstone is the name of the restaurant in Townsend, Tennessee, if you want to get some good fried green tomatoes while you're out in the Smokies.
Sorry, the peanut gallery's talking.
Yeah, Peanut Gallery likes to talk from afar. But he's close enough that you can hear him. And you probably see our dogs running around in every video. And cats. We have 8. Yes, 8.
4 dogs, 4 cats.
4 dogs, 4 cats. And they keep us very busy. And our vacuum cleaner is a good friend of ours. But, you know, really, a house ain't a home to us without our pets. Someday maybe I'll do a little video introducing everybody. That guy who just walked past is Sunny Bones. He's our second oldest. He's a hound.
Sunny Bones.
He's a hound dog. And he's about 12 years old. He's an old man now.
He's very cool.
Okay, guys, we have breaded all of our fried green tomatoes. And, well, they're pink. We're going to try pink tomatoes. And they're ready to go in the grease. The grease is ready. I did the water drip test, which is basically if you drip some water, just little tiny drip of water, and the grease starts going crazy, then you know it's ready. So we're going to take our little doohickey here, a little meat turner or pigtail, and throw it in. About 3 minutes on each side. Here we go. It's frying. I'm probably going to fast forward through the frying. Alright y'all, the frying is done. They look beautiful to me. They're crunchy. You can hear that. And they just look really, really delicious. Pink or not, I think they're gonna be great. And we will come back, and Brooksy Baby's gonna do a little taste test at the table. And we'll see if they cut the mustard, so to speak. Alright guys, we are back, and you so patiently sat and watched while those tomatoes fried in that cast iron skillet, and I am so pleased with how they came out. They are crispy and crunchy. You can kind of hear that. And we've got them plated up kind of like a little flower on the plate there, and Brooksy Baby here is going to be my taste testing man today, and these are definitely fried pink tomatoes, not fried green tomatoes, but I gotta tell y'all, I snuck a taste, and there's a little bit of sweetness that kind of takes away the real tart of the green, and I love it. I just think I think I might like it better than green tomatoes. So these are fried pink tomatoes. All right, Brooks, let's see what you think. You are
what a mountain man thinks.
You're seeing what a mountain man thinks, even though it's a Jewish dish, which we love. Our Jewish friends, we actually have done seders and things like that in our house to honor our Jewish culture, because our Lord is Jewish.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Most important part of the process
is, how does it taste?
How does it taste? Yeah, absolutely. So you've got the crispy texture from the outside, not overdone.
And that's the self-rising cornmeal that makes that crispiness really crispy.
Remoulade just has a nice flavor. The tomato, it's got that silkiness on the inside. Man, that is some good stuff. But the cornmeal crust by itself is amazing.
So what do you think of the little bit of a sweetness? Because they have started to turn a little bit pink.
They have started to turn a little bit. You know, a lot of people will tell you that, you know, you can't really fry green tomato if it started to turn. Don't listen to that.
Because I just did it.
First of all, Christy just did it, but I've always heard that if it's getting ready to turn, if it's still got any green to it at all, that tomato can be fried. And if you're like me and you're from the South, anything can be fried. So remember that.
All right. So success. I think that's lunch today. What do you think?
I know it's lunch.
You gonna share some?
If you get lucky, maybe. No, of course I'll share. All
right, awesome. And I think that right now, while I've got him here, I'm gonna introduce our oldest pup, Fritzy. Fritzy, want some tomato?
Fritzy loves tomato.
Let me give me a little tiny piece of crumb or something that he can eat. He can eat tomato.
Yeah, he can have the tomato. He can have it. Matter of fact, here. Give him this little.
We don't really feed them very many table food scraps, but they do eat vegetables.
I like that. That's good.
Fritzy, you want a cookie? Fritzy. Fritzy, you want a cookie? Here.
Here comes the rest.
You know.
Willie says,
they're all like, oh. No? Okay. Well, maybe next time, but there's Fritzy. He gets the cameo today. He's a 12-year-old. Uh-oh, George is going to steal it. Fritzy's a 12-year-old terrier mix, and Georgia Peach is our baby. And she steals the whole show. Yes, she does. Anyway, until next time, guys, thank you for joining us on
Smoky Mountain, Faith, Food, and Fun.
Bye-bye. God bless. And don't forget to subscribe and like. Send us your prayer requests and the email that will be listed below. And we love y'all. Bye-bye.